Hi there. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use OpenRefine on that campaign finance data. So the first thing you're going to have to do, of course, is to download and install OpenRefine. There's the web address there to download it. I'm using the Mac kit here, of course. When you download it, you will get this window here. And then when you open it, you may get a warning that your computer won't, your security settings won't let you open applications from unknown developers. If that happens, you will need to change your security settings. So this is under the under System Preferences, Security Settings. Where are those? Security and Privacy, and then allow apps to download it from unidentified developers. And when you get that warning sign, actually, if you do, when you're downloading OpenRefine, there'll be a little question mark in the corner that you can hit, and it'll take you right to this page. So you're going to have to enter your password, perhaps, and give permission to install the app. So once you get OpenRefine installed, it will look like this. And it is a program that you have to install on your computer, but it, weirdly enough, operates through your Google Chrome. So it will look like this in Chrome. First thing you do is import the data. And I'm going to import the data for the exercise here. So this is the, campaign expenditures, or PAC expenditures, I believe. So I already downloaded it from Canvas and put it in my downloads file, and here it is. What is that? I did it well. Okay, and I have already uploaded it, so I have an open project. So I went to the open projects, picking the PAC expenses. Okay. And first I will look, so we're going to use this text facet to make sure that things identical things are entered in an identical way. And this should have an idea what this does from the video here. So text facet, cluster. So we found no clusters on the committee name. And even if you change to various degrees to using different mechanics here, let this run. It's not finding any clusters on the PAC name, and that's good. That means that the data in that column is pretty clean, that the PAC names were entered consistently. But if we look across, there are other columns where we are not so lucky, where the data is a lot more dirty. So these are PAC expenses. So people give money to the Political Action Committee, but that's not what this covers here. What this covers here is who political action committees give their money to. And that shows up here in this non-individual column. So, these are different campaign committees, Cherry for Council, Democratic Party. So let's try that one. We'll do the facet, text facet, and cluster. And lo and behold, we do see a lot of clusters here. And so again, if we look at this carefully, we see, okay, here's square with a period, here's square with no period, with a period, no period. So those can merge. And here we have a law firm, same law firm it looks like, presented slightly differently. Campaign to elect James M. Hoops, with and without periods. So these are all things that we want to cluster. couple of J. Edwards with extra spaces. So I'm going to merge, well, let's select them all. Let's see, select all. Merge and recluster. Okay, and then it merged a whole bunch of them here. And that is what we use OpenRefine for. In this particular spreadsheet, looking across, there are really only sort of two columns where there's this kind of dirt, and this one's pretty clean, but the one where all of the committee names are pretty dirty. And so now that I've done that, we are done with OpenRefine. That is sort of the magic task that this program does, is sort of find the dirt in the data and help you clean it up. And this is a task, of course, that we've been doing by hand during a lot of the semester. So now that I've done this, I'm going to export my work here. And I guess I'll go ahead and export it as an Excel, because that's what we're going to be using it in. All right, I have downloaded the data, and here it is opened up in Excel. Now you'll notice this will look very, very similar, of course, to the spreadsheet before we groomed it, before we cleaned it up, except now there should be consistency in the naming of this non-individual column, which indicates who the money was given to. So from here, I think the first question I'm going to ask, I'm going to use this column and inquire who received the most money, what person or individual or political action committee received the most money from, or I'm sorry, what individual or issue received the most money from political action committees in Ohio. So I can go data, summarize with pivot table. Okay. And you'll notice that this column, this reporting, mixes together all expenditures by political action committees. So this will include everything from their phone bill to, money given to various political campaigns. I'm going to put the name there, whoever got the money there, and I will put the amount in the values. So that came over as a count of amount. That would be the number of donations. I should have gotten rid of my those blanks. Should have taken care of that in OpenRefine, but that's okay. So count of amount. We don't want a count, of course. We want a sum. All zeros. Now, what this probably means would be that since text or anything can be counted, but only numbers can be summed, it probably mistakenly thinks that this column here is text and not a number. And let's see what this little arrow is. Yeah, see, look, number stored as text, convert to number. Now you can look for help on how to convert your text into numbers. The simplest way is to highlight the whole column and do this data, text to columns, finish. And you'll see when it shifts them all over to the right, that's how, then it knows it's a number. So there are other ways you can do it. You can also do that by going through the little help flag that it just gave me over there. And then I think you can also get to it by working through the formatting interface over here. But that data, text to columns is the simplest. All right, so let's try this again. I'm going to highlight the whole thing. Data, summarize with pivot table. Okay. Let's see what happens now. Non-individual. Amount. Not the count, but the sum. Let's see. There we go. And I am going to ask it to, right now it's in alphabetical order here. I'm going to say, let's look at this from biggest to lowest in terms of the sum. Whoa, this is kind of interesting. So if we were wondering what issue or candidates got the most political action committee money. Number 1 is Ohioans Against the Deceptive RX Ballot Issue, LLC, a wholly owned subsidiary of someone. Well, so that's kind of interesting. Larry Householder is the next biggest recipient of funds here. It's kind of interesting. The Ohio Democratic Party. So you'll notice here I have this blank. This was my failure. I didn't deal with the trailing spaces in OpenRefine, and so I still have that blank. And then there's probably a, yeah, and then there's the, so this is probably any cells that had a space bar, you know, a space in them. And these are the actual blanks. But hopefully our work in OpenRefine, though, will make sure that there's a minimum of sort of overlapping categories here. So when we add them up, and this comes up at the top, we can really believe that that is the biggest. Okay, so that's my little introduction to OpenRefine. Most of the questions on this worksheet, of course, are not really OpenRefine questions. They are really stuff that you're going to do in Excel, mostly pivot table stuff. But the OpenRefine helps us clean up this data so that it pivots nicely. So I hope everybody is happy, safe, and well during these coronavirus times. I hope this video answered some questions. If you still have questions, please shoot me an email, and hope everyone's doing great. Okay, talk to you soon.